Are you an overachiever, and how would you know? You're listening to Mindful Manifesting, and this is Ariana Rollins. That's exactly what we're talking about today. But before we get into that, if you would like to deepen your manifesting journey and really understand how to tap into the power of your unconscious mind to help you create, manifest, then go to mindfulachiever.com, and the freebie there, Kickstart Your Manifesting Journey, I think you'll really like it. It's something I do regularly. All right, so let's dive in. I want to talk about some manifesting tips for overachievers. I think you know if you're an overachiever because we recognize each other, don't we? I definitely am. If you could track me in my day, I think you would laugh at the attention to detail that I give something, and that I won't give up. I mean, a silly one right now. I set up the Christmas tree over the weekend. I'm recording this first week in December, and I've got these gorgeous little glass globe angels, and they have lights inside. I've got tons of batteries to keep them going, and for some reason, they go bright and then they dim, bright and they dim. And so, yeah, like I get up early this morning, it's like 5:20, I meditate, and it's like, I'm on it. I want to change the batteries on these little angels. And I wouldn't give up until I get the tiniest little screw off the back and then figure things out. Oh, now it's working. So overachievers, this is not just meaning as entrepreneurs that you want to grow your income, grow your client base, or if you're employed, that you want to get the next promotion and make $250,000 a year, or like my son's current ambition is to be retired at 45, and knowing him, he's probably going to do it. But being an overachiever doesn't just show up in your career, in your bank account. It shows up everywhere. You've probably heard this expression, how you do anything is how you do everything. Now, is there anything wrong with being an overachiever? Well, let me ask you, do you find it hard to shut your mind off? Perhaps it's hard to fall asleep or stay asleep. Or when you go out on a date with your partner, or you want to hang out with friends, you're brainstorming your business. And you're getting all these creative ideas, and it's hard to be in the present moment. You're someone who feels you're here to make a difference, and that you've got a purpose, and you're exploring that. You may know it, or you may not, but you know you got a purpose. You're here for big things. Well, you might be an overachiever. So let's talk about this. Manifesting tips for overachievers. There are 4 things I want to go through. I'll name them and we'll go into them in a little bit more detail. 1, let me frame it a little bit better. So, sorry, a little bit cough still. Overachievers have some unique characteristics, and I wanted to address the manifesting tips that will specifically help you, and most importantly, recognize when you're doing something that's hindering your manifesting, because that's part of it, right? Is we need to have that awareness, and so we can recognize when we're tripping ourselves up, when we are the biggest obstacle in our life and our biggest obstacle in our business. You recognize yourself, don't you? I know I am. All right. So first, catch yourself if you're overintending, over-expecting what you can get done in a day. Okay, now this can go everywhere because it can turn up in what you're hoping to create, accomplish, manifest. But if we bring it down just to today, for example, okay, look at just the numbers, the amount of time you're working, the amount of time for taking care of the house, making dinner, cleaning the dishes, taking a shower, walking the dog. I don't know if you've ever done it, but it's an interesting thing to do, is write down the amount of time in 30 minutes increments or an hour, And then you look like, whoa, I only have 2 hours spare in the day. You think 2 hours, that's a lot. No, it's not. What if you sit down and watch a 2-hour movie or a 90-minute movie? It's done, it's gone, and you're not building your life for future you. So catch yourself if you're overintending or expecting that you're going to get more done, that you're going to be more successful in a day. Because what happens is it sets up and triggers a failure mode within your unconscious mind. Yeah, I'm serious. There is a failure mode. It's like a tripwire, a flip switch, that when you consistently overintend for a day and you don't follow through on all you've written down, it causes this disconnect between your conscious mind, which is intending and directing your day, and your body, which is the storehouse of your unconscious mind, its ability to follow you, because it stops trusting you. You're inconsistent. It won't pay attention. This is big. This is something I cover in great detail in the Highest Potential program of how to heal this overintending and disconnect, because it is a healing. It's a program we got set running in ourselves, and it's not serving our manifesting abilities because we are overintending, and the part that follows through on a lot of things that we're doing is our body. It stopped paying attention to us. Okay. Another manifesting tip for overachievers is catching yourself when you're trying to force something to make it work. Forcing it to make it work. Now, sometimes it could be because you just know that this is something that's right for you. Maybe it's even right for the other person. Maybe it's a client you want to enroll or someone you want to date, and you're forcing it. Maybe it's your child, and you're directing your child because they shouldn't give up on the very last day when they're about to do their black belt test, like my son did at 12 years old. That was a stressful conversation. I'll have to tell you later if he did manage to turn up. So forcing to make it work. Now, one of the ways around that is breaking it down into acceptable steps that a part of you says, yeah, leaning forward, I can do that. That'll work for me. Because sometimes forcing something to make it work, it's too big, and there becomes this urgency and this survival energy that gets triggered. We got to make it happen. We got to make it happen, or dire things are going to happen. So forcing to make it work, can you break it down? And then you're going to be solving the first one too, overintending, because you can break down things into bite-sized pieces and feel good about the accomplishment for today that you did that part. And it's like, that was a success today. Great. I've got tomorrow to work on the next part. Okay, third one, being too hard on yourself if you don't get the results, or it's not meeting your expectations. I realized I did not give you the 4 in advance. I'm sorry. I dove right into the content. Super excited about this episode, if you can't already tell. So being too hard on yourself. Now, for perfectionists, overachievers, we can look at other people's accomplishments, and we know inherently that we're capable of more. And so we combine that, and it's like TNT. It's very explosive within us. So being hard on ourselves, we think that's going to motivate us to do more and do better. But actually for superachievers, or overachievers, it kind of cuts our legs out. If you've ever been around someone who's critical of you, let me ask, does it motivate you? Or does it discourage you? Does it get you angry? Does it get you depressed? Whatever it is one of your patterns of being pushed. And who better to push you than yourself? So if you're being too hard on yourself, or your results don't meet your unrealistic expectations, guess what part of you is listening? Your body, the storehouse of your unconscious mind, is hearing you. Not good enough, not good enough, nope, not good enough. And so if you think, if you're raising a child or you're training an animal and you're constantly saying, not good enough, not good enough, there's no positive praise for their progress, they tune you out, just like your body is going to tune you out. And that manifesting superpower that lives within your unconscious mind won't listen anymore. So be gentle on yourself. Catch yourself when you're being too hard. Like one of the things I caught myself years ago, that was so stupid, Ariana. Why did you do that? Why did you do that? You do that every day. Look at the mess you just made. And I was like, whoa, I'm being a mean girl on myself. Where did that come from? Yeah, doesn't matter where it comes from. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to do it to myself. I don't treat other people that way. Why am I treating myself that way? So that's 3. Catch yourself if you're being too hard on yourself. And what you could do is, wow, yeah, I did that. How could I do it better? Oh, great. Ask better questions. Oh, this podcast could go everywhere. This is so rich. Hopefully you're enjoying it. Okay, number 4, not resting. So I'm going to summarize again. Manifesting tips for overachievers. Catch yourself when you're overintending. 2, forcing to make it work. 3, being too hard on yourself. 4, not resting. What? Why is this in manifesting tips for overachievers? Because resting. This is where the magic starts. Have you ever had a really full week and you say, you know what, I'm just shutting down. I'm just going to take a bubble bath, or I'm going to take a long walk with the dog, or I'm going to go out with my partner. We're just going to have a nice bottle of wine and have a great meal and just decompress from the week. Did you ever notice that when you're relaxing, happy, spacious, you get insights? Insights drop in. And here's the reason why. It's fascinating, actually. Your unconscious mind can give you have a direct communication, usually, with your conscious mind and your unconscious mind. And that's where you get the creative ideas. That's where you get the gung-ho to do things. But when you are in that overachiever mode, it's like, there's so much noise. You can't hear the creativity that lives in your unconscious mind. You can't solve problems because you're redlining it in your car. You think you know the way. But when you stop, when you rest, when you decompress, it's like this. If you've ever had this example or experience, you go to sleep and you're wondering, you're trying to solve something, a problem, and you wake up and it's like, I got it. I know how to do it. Where do you think the idea came from? Your unconscious mind. It's more active when you're asleep. Because guess what? You're out of the way and you're not redlining things. So downtime enables those ideas and insights and creative problem solving to tap in, to drop in at its finest. And one of the beauties and I guess most important tips, I would say, for overachievers. And if you ever studied human design and you happen to be a manifestor human design type, please pay close attention to this one, because you have this creative energy that wants to birth things in the world. And everybody can do that, obviously. But manifestors, that's kind of what we're wired here to do. And if you're not resting, that energy, those insights, that brilliance that wants to be birthed through you, can't get a word in edgewise. You won't hear it, and you won't have the energy to do it. So rest is vital, and there's no free pass. You either rest, or if you don't, then you're just kind of like slogging along, going to sleep, going to work, going to sleep, going to work, And there's not that vitality and vibrancy to your step. And if you're an entrepreneur, guaranteed, your prospective clients feel it. And we may take it as a badge of honor that we are overachievers and we're working really hard. But if you're working with clients, that's not something they want to model. They want to have flow. They want to have things come to them with grace, with ease. They don't want to force things to make it happen. They don't want to pack their day to be too much overintending. They don't want to be hard on themselves. And my friends, they don't want to work 24/7, even though their programming says they should. So, a fast track tip, what to do? Well, what does the body do? Well, it's not really a fast track tip. This is what the body does if you don't let it rest. I'll tell you the fast track tip in just a moment. What's the body do if you don't let it rest? Well, you can get sick. You push yourself too much, your immune system gets a little compromised, and the next thing that's floating through the district, you've got it. And then you have to rest, don't you? And now you have an excuse. So the overintending, being hard on yourself, forcing to make things work, they get elbowed out of the way because you can't. You got to sleep. You got to rest. That's a terrible way to get rest. I just went through it. So I'm speaking from personal experience here. I was looking forward to a 4-day weekend, and guess where I was? In bed, missing out on my Thanksgiving celebration with friends. So, what's the fast track tip? What to do if you find yourself in these 4 patterns of overachieving? Figure out how much you need to balance your workload and make time to recharge. I know that's easier said than done, and you probably kind of tune out when someone says work-life balance. It's easy, just do this. It's not. It's not easy. We have to actually build it in so that it feels good. We get a positive feedback loop. We feel energized, and we come back to work with great ideas. Well, then you're probably going to do it. You're going to do it. Like one of the things, the weather's turned cooler here in Austin, where I live. One of my favorite things to do that I look forward to at the end of the day, taking the dog out for its last walk, and I come in and I fill the bathtub with Epsom salts, and I grab my little Kindle book and I just soak. And I sleep so well after that. So this having your energy turned on high, nothing wrong with that. I don't want to turn that off in you. I love it that you're an overachiever. We got a lot in common. But having this overachiever also building in time for recharge. It's like, you know how good it feels when you come back from a vacation, or you just took a long weekend and you just unplugged from your environment, your to-dos, taking care of everybody else and everything, and you're like, wow, this is great. I want to do this again. It's like that, but you don't have to take a full-on vacation for that. You can take even 20 minutes and do something that you thoroughly enjoy. So I'll pause now. I've been talking a lot. What is it that you thoroughly enjoy? What is something that just lights you up, and every time you do it, like, why don't I do more of that? For me, yoga is so good, and I meditate. I think yoga I enjoy more. Meditating, I do it because it's a necessity. Sometimes I enjoy it. Used to be walking at 5 a.m. with my dog. Not this dog yet. He hasn't learned how to walk nicely next to me yet. My other dog did. There were certain things that I got so nourished. Mind, body, soul, spirit. I just, just my heart was singing. Feels so good. So find those things, and can you build in just a little bit of that and try today? Because we do need to have that offsetting recharge and decompression time if we are overachievers. because we know mentally that we can't drive at top speed all the time. But most of us recognize it too late. We've been burning the candle at both ends, and now, forced sickness, forced rest, or that we're just tired. And all that creative inspiration, all that wonderful, fantastic energy that wants to move through you, you don't have the energy to implement things. And that is terribly sad. All right, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I would love it if you do enjoy mindful manifesting, that you give us a review on wherever you listen to the podcast. All right, as we wrap up, remember, as you confirm yourself, you chart your own path to success. And one last thing is there is still the opportunity to enter the drawing for a Activate Your 5 Pillars of Empowered Success session with me. The value is $200, and all you have to do, yes, I guess it's not really a drawing, it's not a freebie, is just buy the Activate Your 5 Pillars of Empowered Success ebook, and it's just $17. I'll put the link in the show notes, or you can also go to mindfulachiever.com, look at the podcast, and the link will be right there for you. So why I want you to get the ebook first is they're deep, insightful questions, and then one person is going to win it. And I'm going to run this contest through to the end of December, so you've got time, to buy it. But I would like you to, it's only 50 pages, easy read, great questions. I love it. Is that you'll get the chance to have a drawing. You'll be entered in the drawing to get a chance for an empowerment session, so you can maximize the self-awareness that comes and elevating your ability to be successful without that forcing and pressure. It just becomes who you are, a manifesting superstar. All right, so much love, and have a wonderful rest of your week. Thanks for listening.